now we're live. Okay, so I can turn you down. There we go. Hey, how we doing, guys? This is Hack Nation Live. I'm your host, Aaron Bennett. If you're new to the show, every Wednesday night, 7 to 9 Central Time, we come here and try and help out as many people as we can and give a little bit back to the community and just talk about trucks and whatever else comes to mind. This is a call-in show. Sorry, TikTok, that we're sideways. But if I don't have it sideways, you can't see Glade's beautiful face. So kind of is what it is. Yeah, guys, this is a caller-centric show. If you want to be a part of the show, you can call the number at 573-422-4225. That's 573-422-4225. This is Glade. He's part of the Bennett Truck Center Hack Nation family. I know last week we had on a salesman from Bennett Truck Center. This week we're doing it again. These guys are all very excited to be part of our team. Glade's been with us for quite some time now. Been here for a little bit. He's starting to become quite the shrewd engine diagnostic. That's one thing that these salesmen find out really quickly to be is they have to figure out, they're basically mechanics, because we want everyone to call in and, part of our job, right, Glade, to not just sell people stuff, but to try and figure out their problem. It's kind of like being on the show. You're trying to figure out people's problem and, okay, here's what you actually need to fix, rather than how much can we sell this guy. It's more of what's really going on with this guy? How do we get him what he needs and fix the problem, right? So we do have one caller who called before we even started, but that's cool. So we'll go ahead and see how the phone lines are working. Make sure they are working. Let's see. Brian, I think. Erwin, you're on the air, brother. What can we do for you? Hello? Hello? Oh, no. He hung up. So we don't know if the phone lines are working or not. Anyway, guys, again, the number to call in is 573-422-4225. Somebody call in. We'll see if our phone lines are working. Hi, you're on the air. Hello? What is going on? Might be. Let me see. Give me one sec here, guys. Oh, we're connected to the Roadcaster. Oh, we're still. No, we're online. And hello, are you there? No, we dropped. Let's see. I'm not sure. So we'll go ahead and take one more here. If not, I'll have to reset this thing. Are you there? Hello. Anyway, I guess let me reset this up. All right, guys, I will try to do this again. In the meantime,
do you have any of those like commercial break screens?
Commercial break screens?
Like they do like that. Hold on, give us one moment, and then they throw it on.
Oh, something like, or I don't know. No, I don't. Let's see.
I really expected one when you reach for a button. Fuck.
Oh, these are buttons to change your voice.
These are buttons to change your voice.
Okay, then. Let's see.
Thank you for calling Call-In Studios host and call screener line. Please enter your show or meeting number and press pound. That was an invalid PIN for Phoenix Internet FM. Please re-enter your 6-digit PIN. We did not receive a response.
Okay.
Thank you for calling Call-In Studios host and call screener line. Please enter your show or meeting number and press pound. We did not receive a response. Goodbye.
Oh my God. I know what the problem is. It doesn't like to play when you're hooked up to the broadcaster. I forgot about that.
Thank you for calling Call-In Studios host and call screener line. Please enter your show or meeting.
You guys can just call Aaron's personal number. It's
Enter your
907.
6-digit PIN number.
That wouldn't work very well. It's hooked up to TikTok.
Welcome, host. You are now in the host room and can manage your callers from the Call-In Studio web interface.
Okay, so we know it's not on this end. Oh, I didn't hook up to the roadcaster. Hang on here. You there?
Yeah, man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
We're one step closer.
How about now? Can you still hear us?
So, quick question for you. We have 3 of them MSXA certs, and all of a sudden they have lost power. Oh,
I can hear you. They've lost power.
yeah. So they've lost power, and they don't miss. They don't smoke it. I don't know. We put computers on them. Nothing said anything. And they don't have no boost leaks or anything like that. I don't know if there's something that goes wrong with them or.
Well, there's a million things that can go wrong, but let's try and hash it out really quick. When we say lost power, define that.
Oh, like it doesn't build the boost it used to, and it's almost like it's in a D-rated mode.
And how sure are we that it's not derated?
Well, that's what I'm wondering if it's not D-rated.
Well, I mean, are you throwing VVA codes or anything like that?
No. The one truck, whenever you first started, the engine light will flash for a little bit, but that goes away. And when you put a computer on it, it doesn't show nothing for any error codes.
Okay, if it's flashing and going away, that one's a VVA.
The VVA net.
Mm-hmm. When you first start it up, does it have power just fine, and then it after you drive it for a little bit, it loses the power?
Correct.
That one's a VVA. I would start by changing the internal wiring harness.
But seeing them, we were having problems with one of them on the Jake brake because of the wiring harness too.
Yeah, the wiring harnesses are only rated for 250,000 miles on those, so you can't really go wrong by changing them.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, that puts me in the right direction. Because they have about 550,000 miles on them, and they've never been changed.
Yeah, that check engine light that will come on once you've been running it and then go away and you can't see it on the computer, I guarantee that's a VVA. And it's most likely there's like a 95% chance it's a wiring harness. Internal harness. Let's make sure we're on the right track. Internal harness.
The internal, yeah. Yeah, well, that's perfect. That's kind of what I was needing to know.
All right, brother. Well, good luck.
All right, yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep, bye. Yeah, they're all having the same issue. John Jakes says, "What does NAP mean?" Oh, he's talking about my shirt. That's non-aggression principle that was championed by Hans Hermann Hoppe. What it means in a nutshell is that it's called argumentation ethics. And if you're arguing with somebody, you've already presupposed, the supposition's already there that violence is a non-starter because you wouldn't be arguing in the first place. So it's non-aggression principle. The principle is arguing already comes to the table with the idea that we're not going to resort to violence, or we wouldn't be arguing in the first place. We would be resorting to violence, not arguing. So it is a contradiction in terms to resort to violence if you're arguing in the first place. That's what it means. Anyway, yeah. So on to the next caller. Steven, you're on the air, brother. What can we do for you?
Hey, man, this is Scott out in Georgia. I've got kind of a crazy question. I mean, it's an easy question for you, probably. I just bought a Kenworth's got a cat ACERT in it. It's a C15, and the motor just been rebuilt. It's got 8,000 miles on the rebuild, but it's got green antifreeze in it. And I was just wondering, what was how do you feel about that?
Well, green antifreeze should be a product that doesn't exist on the market anymore. The fact that it's still available is really capitalism decides all those things. In other words, the consumer decides what stays on the market. So it's not the guys making green coolant that are to be blamed. It's all you guys buying it still that need to be blamed that green coolant is still a thing. And the only people that buy it is because their grandpa did, right? And it's terrible for your engine. Get it out of there and put red in and move on with life, pretty much.
Is there anything you got to do special? Just flush it out real good?
No, just get it out of there.
Okay. All right. That's really all I had. Other than he didn't tell me what kind of oil he was running in it. Do you recommend any particular weight oil or anything?
I mean, I've always just been a fan of regular old 1540. You know, even our PAO oil that is true full synthetic is a 1540 because I just have always seen the best results in every kind of climate with a 1540.
What would you run full synthetic in it with 8,000 miles on it, or would you run regular oil for a little while longer?
We tell people on our engines when they buy them from us to refrain from a full synthetic for 10,000 miles.
Okay. Okay, man. Hey, I appreciate it.
All right, brother. Good luck, man.
Yeah, yes, sir. Thank you.
Bye. When I turn our mics down, it's because it catches echo from the caller, but it's not to keep you from saying anything. I know you're here mainly to observe, but you're more than welcome to talk. Anyway, what brand is the dyno you guys bought? That dyno is a DIMS port. They're more common for dynoing equipment, like tractors and stuff like that. The nice thing about this dyno is it is an electromagnetic dyno and not a hydro dyno. It doesn't take water, so we don't have to have this huge reservoir of water. We just have to have a shit ton of power. And we just happen to have 3-phase power here, so I was finally able to get it going. And boy, does that thing use some power. Holy cow. Do we give options on financing? We do finance, right? Yeah, we finance a lot of people.
Through a firm.
Yep. We have financing options available, and we also let you guys also let a lot of people buy stuff and then make payments, right? That have nothing to do with finance companies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once it's fully paid, we can ship it out, whatever increments.
Yeah, because we have like 3 or 4 kits here pretty much at all times that people are making payments on. Believe it or not, they didn't go through a finance company. We're just trying to help everybody get into get their shit running and getting on the road. Sometimes people need that, and it's not available. Nobody in the industry does that. Nobody just sits there and stores your kit off to the side, but we do. But it don't hurt us, so why not? Anyway, Scott, I think you're on the air, brother. What can we do for you?
Yeah, I got a 04 12.7 Detroit, and customer states his coolant cap didn't vent, and he blew the radiator, and now he's consuming coolant. So he brought it to me. I put the tester on the tank exhaust is not getting into the coolant, but let's say the truck sits for a couple days and you pull the cap, there's pressure in the cooling system, and it's not going in the air tanks or anything. So I think it's a head gasket issue, but I'm just calling to get your opinion.
Yeah, but you didn't get you did a combustion test with the fluid and it didn't change.
Correct.
All right. Did you make sure it was
And it is deleted.
you made sure it was up to operating temperature?
Yep.
Those
Ran it so long that it split the radiator in half.
I mean, so we know we overheated it, right?
Correct. And then prior this week, I asked him if there was anything else because the head looks newer. There's still brand new paint. Had a head gasket done two years ago at a shop down south, and cylinder one liner was at the lower spectrum. So I don't know if that's the issue or what.
So you guys have put a new radiator on it?
Stopped it. And he brought it to me to diagnose it further.
Well, yeah. Have you put a new radiator on it?
Yep, there's a new one on it.
And it just pressures up anyway when you go to try to drive it.
We'll drive it, or if it's just sitting for a couple hours.
Well, sure, but we don't really care about when it's sitting. When you're driving it, does it overheat? That's the big question. Is it overheating or just building a bunch of pressure?
Building a bunch of pressure.
Okay. So,
but there's not combustion, so would that be on the boost side, you think?
What's something? It's not. It can't be a head gasket. Head gasket can only be combustion, right? So, yeah, it's coming from somewhere else. Freightliner used the air shutoff for the bunk. Did they? Maybe they did. We had a problem on a Kenworth one time that was very similar. It was actually an air shutoff that was putting air into the cooling system. Yeah, check the bunk, air shutoff. Cut the water. You cut the water to the bunk.
It's a day cab.
Oh, it's a day cab. Ha! Fucker.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Like the air compressor out of it.
You've eliminated the compressor and it still does it?
I have not, no.
Oh, well, start there, of course. The odds of it being the turbo are basically none. It's not the turbo doing it.
Mm-hmm.
The odds of it pushing a bunch of blow by and it being the turbo exists, but it's incredibly unlikely. But there's no coolant going to that turbo, right?
No.
Right. So you can rule out the turbo. So that only leaves you the compressor, or related to the compressor, somehow. Right.
Possibly.
What's that?
Would a cracked head cause it?
A cracked head would show up in your combustion gas test.
Okay.
And those combustion gas tests, I'm sure there's a margin for error with them, but I've never experienced an error with them. Same thing with liners. Guys are, making comments, liners, this and that. Liners, head gasket, cylinder head, they're all going to show up on that test. Every one of them. Because it would be combustion gas pushing the coolant, it would show up.
No, really.
Glenn Long saying he's seen the blue not change and the red does. I don't know what he's talking about. It sounds like there's another brand out there that uses a red fluid that might be worth a shot if changing the compressor doesn't fix it. But I've personally never experienced the blue fluid fail me ever. I'm not saying it's not possible. Like I said, there's probably a margin for error there, but I've never seen it. But anyway, man, obviously start with the compressor and call us next week and tell us what happened. I think we lost him anyway. He was cutting in and out really bad.
The next.
Oh, he's gone anyway. He left the chat. Like, fuck these guys. They can't help me. Red fluid is for diesel. I can't imagine how it would matter either way, Glenn. I mean, that would be beyond me. I hate that I can't read what my TikTokers are saying.
You go sideways every now and again, but it's just they're the fastest speed too. They're talking like double or triple with baseball.
Oh, you could watch it on yours and tell me if there's any good things we need to reply to. Brian, you're on the air, brother. What can we do for you?
Hey, Aaron. I'm in the middle of building / rebuilding a heavy haul truck. I was working with Dylan in the call center trying to order an instead of differentials. I think I want to go with a 390, but he told me to give you a call and see what your recommendation was. I'm running a 99 model with a 3406E cat, somewhere short of maybe 650, 700 horse is what the previous owner told me it was. I run anywhere from 100 loaded. I'm about empty. I'm 150. I'm about 55,000 pounds empty. I gross out loaded 130 to 150, 180,000. When I'm loaded with the current 390s that I got, pushing right about 1650 RPM. I only run in 17 or 18 direct when I'm loaded. Would you recommend going up a gear, down a gear, or staying right at the 390s that I got?
I mean, yeah,
it's a low question. I understand.
No, I mean, it has more to do with what kind of terrain you run on than what kind of weight you are. You know, weight really comes down to how long is it going to take me to get up to 70 miles an hour. And then once you're there, you know, the taller your legs, the better your fuel mileage, right? In theory. Now, if you're too heavy and you're having to run in 7th over or 7th direct everywhere, there went your fuel mileage, right? That's one of the risks when you're really heavy like that. So if you jump up too far, you know, I had trucks that I bought in the lower 48 that were geared way higher than my Alaskan trucks, but you know, sometimes our weights were so big they were doing way worse because the guys are running around in 7th gear just to keep her at 70. You know what I mean? But if you're pulling hills at all,
right.
If you
we run the lower 48. Sure. And a lot of times we end up on, you know, back roads running height and width. We don't get to run a lot of interstate because of the bridges, so it's a crapshoot. But I was also told never to run in 18 because it's kind of overdrive. Always stay in 17 or 18 direct.
No.
Fact or fiction?
No. That transmission doesn't have a fucking clue. It's not a living, breathing entity that is like, oh God, he's in overdrive, right? It all just, you know, the lowest RPM that you can maintain speed at is the best fuel mileage you can possibly get on any engine on the planet.
All right. Sounds like that 390 is kind of the we only run, you know, maybe 60, 65 loaded just because we just have a hard time keeping the temperature down on the tires.
Mm-hmm.
We run, you know, 55, 65 max. So, you know, most of the time in the summertime, we're around 60 miles an hour. So to try to hold that, we kind of been right around 1650 in 17. So if I drop into 18, I'll probably drop maybe 200 RPM.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably just leave it right where it's at, man.
All right. Well, sounds like we're going to order a new set of different front and back set from Dylan, straight from Minotaur. So he's been really good to work with. Recommended I give you a call, and I appreciate your information.
All right, brother. Have a good night and good luck with that.
All right, thanks.
Yep. Bye.
Shout out Dylan.
Yeah. Shout out to Dylan.
Matt on TikTok says, "Do we have a website yet? It just shows up as HHP." No, we have one in the works, but right now we're just doing calls.
Yeah, and you know, we'll always prefer for people to call in, even when we get our website up and running. We'll encourage people to call in. We want to have an opportunity to talk to everybody. I mean, you see a show like this, 3/4 of our calls are like this show, right? Where we're helping people diagnose their problem before we sell them anything. Anyway, we got quite a few callers. We'll jump right back to you guys. Hang on. Nate Doss VCs says my 2WS has weak Jake brakes on high. Do they need rebuilt? You know, it's only like $200 to rebuild them. So I would recommend you did. That's a good place to start. Dwight says, I've got an 07 379 with ISX that threw a rod on me. I'm wanting to go with the 640 you guys build. Just wondering, would I be crazy to do that? Or I could go with a 640 ISX. Well, if you're getting one from us, we only do a 600 in the 6NZ. Not a 640. We do 640s out of the Acer platform. And we do a 650 ISX. Whether you'd be crazy or not, let me give you some pros real quick. The pros of switching to a cat is you would have a cat. All joking aside, it increases the value of the rig. And obviously there's more dependability in theory out of a cat than there is out of an ISX. What are the cons? The cons are there is an upfront cost that's pretty excessive to go from a Cummins to a cat. It's going to cost you probably upwards of around $15,000 just in shit to make that one work where the other one used to be. It's called a repower.
The harness, the labor for it.
Yeah, it gets pretty spendy, and that's probably on the low end, to be honest. So that's a lot of money that could go into making a badass ISX. And, you know, ISXs really aren't that bad. We build a lot of them that I consider to be dependable. We do a lot of things to make them dependable. You know, the bypass thermostat, the stiffener plates, good intake, good exhaust, better cams. We make a wicked ISX that you'd be saving yourself probably $25,000 all in to go with over switching to a yellow engine. There are pros to either one, but what would I do? I'd probably stay with an ISX, to be honest with you. I mean, they fucking Jake like nobody's business. They pull. No one can say a Cummins does not get the damn job done. They get the job done. For sure. You know, I used to hate them because they just fail so soon, but long way to get everybody out of it. I don't hate them near as much as I used to. But anyhow, back to the callers here. You're on the air.
Good evening, hacknation. This is Sunshine checking in with you. I had a couple of questions regarding N14 that I've been driving recently. I work for a mainline water company, and they had me driving, moving their equipment the last couple of years, and they stuck me in this N14 O2 National with the N14. It's got a 13 speed on it, and in the morning times when I go to fire the rig up, this is something that started happening over the past week. It'll start up and it'll run for a few seconds, and then it'll start spitting and sputtering and fall on its face. And I'll have to burn it with some ether to get it fired back up. I was curious what am I dealing with here?
It's most likely the check valve that's in the ECM. It's letting it bleed off. And so you just haven't fuel in the injectors, and then once that's used up, it's trying to reprime itself.
Copy. Am I hurting it all with burping with ether to get it running, or?
I mean, not necessarily, but it's better to fix it. Like another fella said, it could have the wrong fuel filter on it. It's most likely that ECM, if you look, you have fuel line that goes into the ECM. And in that ECM is a check valve, and that thing will go bad. It's like
Copy that.
under $100, change that. It needs the anti-drain back valve.
Hell yeah.
There is another check valve too. Where's that? I can't remember where that check valve's at. There's 2 check valves on that engine. And it does sound like it's actually the one that's forward rather than the one that's the one on the ECM is your return line check valve. I can't remember where the supply line check valve's at on the N14 off the top of my head. It's probably on the filter housing.
Yeah, that's what I heard from another mechanic that I know. Unfortunately, not only do I have to drive the truck, but I have to service the truck as well, which is a good thing because you should have to put in that.
I would highly recommend you change both check valves while you're there, and then you don't have to worry about it. But it's going to be one of those 2. It's most likely the drain back check valve, like the YouTube is awesome says on Facebook here. He's probably right, but it's going to be one of those 2 check valves. Change them both and get to trucking.
Well, we're trucking right now. I have one other question for you. So regarding the bypass oil filtration system, I was bragging about it to another mechanic that I know quite well a couple weeks ago. It was like, man, hacknation is on something with your bypass oil filtration system. And he was kind of like, it's not like it's not this and not that. I was like, well, what do you mean by that? His response was, well, it'll decrease your oil pressure in the system. And also in return, making your oil pump work a little bit harder, have to pump that oil through an extra set of filters. I was curious what your thoughts were behind that while we're hatching.
He doesn't understand how an oil system works. That oil is it all goes to the same place. It's all heading to the sump, but all that bypass does that we give you is on a normal system. Some of it goes through the cooler, and the rest of it just falls straight in. Right? All ours does is force all of it to go through the cooler. If it was going to do anything at all, it would raise your oil pressure, not lower it.
Copy that. Actually, he may have said raise the oil pressure. It's been a couple weeks since I spoke to him about it, but it was one or the other on that side.
Okay, well then ask him how raising your oil pressure is a bad thing.
I'll do that. I most certainly will next time I speak with him. And so following up with the oil bypass filtration system.
Now, wait, I think maybe we're talking about 2 different things. I'm talking about the oil thermostat that cools the oil. Are you talking about the external oil bypass system that cleans the oil?
Yes, that's the external bypass filtration that cleans the oil better.
Okay, now when you're all the way up to operating temperature, that can show on our new version of it. It can show 1 to 2 pounds different if you plug it off or if you're running it, which is not even in the margin of error, right? It's negligible. So it's not something to worry about. It's using it is coming out of the rifle. So anyone that claims it doesn't take anything at all, which I've seen recently, people making videos saying that they don't take any pressure at all. those guys also made videos on a freshly started engine that was cold, that's already pushing like 75 psi because the oil's cold. They should have got that thing up to operating temperature and done that video, and then would have been something believable. We install them all the time, use them all the time. They absolutely take 1 to 2 pounds away, which is not something to even think about, right? Cleaning your oil.
Right. And I think
the degradation of your oil is what the degradation of oils is, you know, barring you have some catastrophic event, degradation of your oil is what destroys every engine on planet Earth. So make your mechanic make that make sense. If we're clean,
and that's what his response was: is oil's cheap? Why don't you just replace it?
Doesn't matter if oil's cheap. Does it wear out? Is he taking samples every? Is he taking samples every 100 miles to tell you exactly when it's wore out? I mean, come on. No, he's
one more question.
He's picking an arbitrary number of X amount of miles is good enough to change it, right?
Yes,
so my question to him would be, how did he determine that that's the perfect time? And every engine's different. Every engine's going to have different amount of combustion gas going into the crankcase. Nobody could make that judgment call unless they were pulling oil samples every couple hundred miles. Anyway, last question. What do you got, brother? What do you got?
It's regarding the oil bypass filtration system as well. How well would that be efficient on a gas engine? Would it be efficient? Would you see any positive gains from that, or is it just a wild thought that I've had?
Oh no, it's going to work the same on any engine. Like I put one on my boat. I put one on everything I own, right? But you wouldn't want to buy ours and put it on your gas engine. It's way too big. Ours is like made for a 10-gallon sump system, right? There's like a million manufacturers out there.
Right.
There's all kinds of guys out there that make them for, you know, medium duty and light duty stuff. You know, that's the route you want to go for sure. But yeah, I would recommend it on anything that uses oil, quite literally.
Copy that. Well, thank you for your time, Mr. Hacknation, and for everybody's enjoyment for this evening.
All right, sir. Have a good night. Good luck.
You too. Thank you, Bob.
Yep. Bye.
Trayton69 on TikTok asked, do you mess around with Eaton Auto 10 speeds? It depends in what regards. Like if you're having issues with it not being enough, like not enough torque, there's not really a good conversion you could do in terms of staying automatic without it being a shit ton of money. Like you could go to a 13 speed, 18 speed, whatever you might need. It'd be cheaper than any other conversion. But if you're asking if yours is busted, if you need one, they don't really make new ones. Not really. We might have a reman. Give us a call tomorrow and I can let you know. But as for if you're having any issues with like torque or it being sufficient.
Is that a transmission that we carry? Yeah. It is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we have them.
He knows the most about it. Yeah. I'll
yeah, we can get you hooked up. Yeah, Amsoil does have multiple options for bypass systems, and they're one of the most affordable. They're one of the more affordable ones out there for sure. I'm not super impressed with their heavy duty engine one. It's just a truck filter. I don't. And it's 4 micron. There's no way that is lasting the X amount of miles they claim it will. But Amsoil makes good shit. I'm not saying they don't. And June Condale said, "Who is that ugly SOB sitting beside Aaron?" That's Clay.
Shout out Aunt June.
All right, you're on the air. What can we do for you? Nobody's leaving their name tonight. Hello, that's you.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is that me?
Yes, sir. What can we do for you?
Oh, sorry, buddy. I'm a towelhead and I didn't understand what you're talking to me. Sorry, brother. Oh, my God. Oh my God, I got Aaron Bennett on the line right now. Oh my God. No, I just wanted to call and fuck with you and ask you a couple questions real quick. I'm on live and I got you on the phone at the same time. So it's like kind of a skipping real quick. If I came out to Texas where you guys are at, can I come work with you guys for a month or two or what?
I don't know who the hell you are, dude. Come on. Goofball.
I mean, I'm good with I never built a big truck engine, but I built little car engines and stuff like that. I was just figuring if I took a plane out there, I got a tow truck company out here in Philly, and I wanted to take a vacation to come out there with you guys and come and work. Is that cool? Can I come and do that?
I'll be honest. So many people have asked us for that in the past. Literally, probably in the hundreds, and I let probably 3 or 4 different people do that, and every time it turned into a disaster. And I'm not willing to do it again, to be honest with you.
I believe it. People are fucking headaches, aren't they?
Yeah, well, and one of them wasn't that long ago, probably what, a year ago. That guy ended up breaking into probably half the trucks here and robbing stuff out of them. So I'm done with all that.
Fucking junkie.
Yep. Anyway,
I understand. All right. My next question was: do you guys build stuff for like smaller engines? Like I got like 2 or 3 medium duty trucks. Like you guys do like the ceramic coating for like the let's say Caterpillar C7s and like Cummins and stuff like that.
Coating a C9 right now, brother.
Is that something you guys? What was that?
Coating a C9 right now. Yeah, we do 5.9s, 6.7s. It doesn't matter. Yep.
So is that something that you guys like keep in stock, or something that I would have to send you my parts or something and then have to get them coated? How would that?
We have all that. You just give us a call and we'll get you hooked up. Glade, you were saying?
The C9, most certainly. The 6.7, it depends what the parts are. I know we can get the bearings for it and the crowns. Pretty
Cummins and Cat, we pretty much have everything. Like a 5.9, we're gonna have that. I just threw a random engine in there for fun, but we have coded a 6.7 here, so I know we can get them. Pretty
like
much,
ballpark,
man.
What would it cost?
I don't.
What would it cost me for something like that?
I don't know. I mean, what's a kit for a what'd that C9 kit run? That was a complete out of frame kit. I don't know, man.
Not off the top of your head,
yeah, but not much, to be honest. So just give us a call. We'll give you a quote. All right.
My last thing, the injectors. I called you guys about a year ago for injectors for a Cat C7, and they were. I know you guys. I watch you guys a lot on like Facebook, and I was. You guys said that you are making your own injectors or carrying your own injectors or something.
Not for. I mean, we pretty much have injectors for. We pretty much have everything for everything these days. But when you're talking about having things special made for you, companies out there, they don't let you fuck around, right? Like our manifolds that we're coming out with, we had to buy $500,000 worth of manifolds, right? So when we got to go figure out injectors, our brand new injectors that just came out, we had to spend a couple $100,000 in injectors for them to do us a product run. Nobody's going to do that for a C7, right? Because you're never going to sell them all. So for something like a C7, we have suppliers that that provide us those things.
One small tidbit about them: C7, 3406B, C. Some of them have very rare injector numbers, and they are only rebuilt. There's no like cores readily available for them. So oftentimes with C7s and things like that, there's a good chance yours might be rebuild only. I'd have to see your engine serial number and pull off of it, but
that's
we might
true.
not have it.
That's exactly why I was asking, because I can't find brand new. Everything is reman.
Yeah, but well, that's going to be that way anyway. But we could, the best thing to do is send yours in, and we have them rebuilt for you, right? We'll bring them to one of our fuel shops and have them do them. I mean, I should have known that. I have to do the same goddamn thing. I have to do that all the time.
Right. Just have them flow matched and all that stuff there on the spot for the exact. Right.
Yeah.
All right. Appreciate your time.
Yes, sir.
Thanks a lot.
Have a good night.
You too, buddy.
That guy did such a
He was
good
really
Indian
good at it.
impression. Holy shit, dude.
Really good.
He had me fooled.
My stomach dropped.
We would sell the fire out of C7 injectors because they eat them. Yeah, I mean, but that's kind of true for a lot of things, and it's just too far out of our demographic. You know, if somebody calls in, has C7 injectors, like Glade saying, we're going to help them. We're going to figure it out because we want to help everyone. But that's not, are we going to get hundreds of calls for C7 injectors? No, we're not. We're not. So, we got to stay in our wheelhouse when we're spending huge amounts of money to do product development for sure. Speaking of that, when do our 200 turbos show up?
It's a good question.
That's a good question. And Matt just left. Hello, you're on the air. What can we do for you?
Aaron, how you doing today?
Good, man.
Hey, you got a quick question, man. I was blessed by a buddy of mine, an old truck that he had. He's giving it to me. He, a 99 Kenworth, got a 2WS Cat. And he said he's rebuilt the motor, and something happened with the wiring harness, and it dropped the liner. So he said, I can have the truck, motor, transmission, whole 9 yards. He turned around and told me, before I do anything, the motor's got to be redone. He's quote unquote fuel efficient is what he calls it. It's 650 to 750 horse. I've never owned a Cat before. The truck I'm driving right now is a Mack. So it's a huge difference going from a Mack motor to a Cat motor. And I'm just kind of curious, your thoughts on a 2WS. And he was also saying something about a firing head. Now, do you guys have firing heads?
I mean, we can, but we try to talk you out of it. I mean, here's the thing, man. 2WS is a great engine, but there's no such thing as a 700 horsepower 2WS. There is no tuning for that. What guys do almost without exception is they put a C16 tune on it because it's a 70 pin ACM, and they can, so they do. And if it's above 600 horsepower, which he's saying it is, that means that somebody most likely put a C16 tune on it. And then they opened up the fuel to no end. So they took a really bad idea and made it worse. And what you end up with when you do that is the heads will crack out and the liners drop. And you've already dropped the liner.
Yeah.
So
now, is it still an option if I have the motor shipped out to you to have you just go through the motor and just redo it all?
Not really. Well, the options we'd have available for you now is we would give you something to exchange it, right? And it would be the same thing you have, but we would give you something to exchange it. It would either be in the form of a long block plus or a complete engine.
All right. Well,
now we also have other options. We have shops all over the United States that we affiliate with, and we could help you get hooked up with somebody that won't stick it in your hiney, and or you do it yourself, and we can support you with all the parts.
Yeah, that's going to be my next question. Would it be more cost effective just to get the coated parts in-frame kit from you?
Sure.
And redo it myself.
It's a pretty simple job on that engine, to be honest.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of figuring. Either that or trading it in, swapping it out for one of your other motors. You know what I mean? And trying to figure out what would be more cost effective.
I'll be honest with you, man. We've been seeing for months now that when guys get a long block plus from us, they end up spending less on average than when we were rebuilding their engines. It's mind-boggling because there's so much involved with, they bring it in, we're in-framing it, and this is bad, and this is bad, and this is bad, and this is bad, and oh, now it's got to come out of the truck. Oh, it needs a crank. Oh, we got to send the block off to the machine shop. Well, when I'm doing one block at a time, I might pay up to $5,000 to have a block completely gone through. When I'm doing them 60, 80 at a time, I'm into them 1,800, 2,300. We have deals where they don't go over certain prices, right? And then we're buying cranks 10 at a time, 20 at a time, 50 at a time. In fact, we just made a crank order for 20 cranks. We get good deals. So by the time we build a long block plus for a guy and send it off to him, 9 times out of 10, it's way faster. The guy, instead of being 4 months at my shop, 5 months, because so many people are here, we're backed up, a week and a half, 2 weeks, it's at your door. Throw it in, and you got new block, new crank, new rods, complete out of frame overhaul kit installed in it, brand new cylinder head, all the coatings already on it, everything already upgraded. You're just taking your external stuff off, and of course you could pick and choose what you want. We can give you all that stuff too, but you're literally just throwing all the external stuff on, throwing it in the truck, and go and truck it, and you have a brand new engine with badass upgrades for almost guaranteed for quite a bit cheaper than you could completely go through yours. In fact, I know it for a fact. I can show you hundreds of invoices that prove it. So I really think that this model that we're going to is going to save people if you just take the downtime off the table, just in total cost.
Right.
We're going to be helping so many people, and then if you included the downtime, it's almost unfathomable. Where are you out?
This motor here.
Where are you out of, brother?
I actually live about 35 miles north of Louisville.
Oh, Kentucky. Yeah.
Actually, southern Indiana.
We got shops in Kentucky. Good ones. Actually.
With me, it's a little. I got more time with this motor because obviously I can't put it in my Mac because of Mac and Volvo. They have their wiring on lockdown, and you can't swap motors out.
Yeah.
So once my truck is paid off in the next few months, I plan on getting rid of it and going back to old school, more mechanical.
Yeah. I wouldn't go to mechanical, but yeah, I'm with you. That 2WS is a bad bitch, brother. Just not the way he's got it set up. Too expensive the way he's got it set up.
Horsepower rating wise, what would be safe? 550?
Well, they make a specific tune for that you can put on that one that's 575. It's actually a factory tune. And we just dynoed one out, one of our 575 tunes, and with all of our upgrades on it and all that, our turbo and the coatings and all that, it was dynoing out at a 589 is what it actually showed to the wheels. Yep. That's fucking getting it, brother. That's getting it.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, I run a lot of nitric acid and propane during the wintertime. And like right now, running a lot of nitric acid out here in the Northeast. So I've got a lot of mountains, especially going across I-84. So I want to make sure that, the next truck I get that I can swap the motor out with, that the motor's gonna be able to keep up with going up 6-7% grades for 12, 13 miles.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that engine will do it. I know that for a fact. Anyway, brother.
Yeah,
well,
I know you were from Alaska, so.
Yep, and I own pretty much every cat under the sun. I can tell you how all of them perform on 14 to 15% grades, loaded 100 to 96 to 113,000. I can tell you how every cat engine type performs, and Cummins pretty much as well. The Cummins,
Okay.
with the Cummins.
All right, I'll definitely give you a.
Anyway, yep, go ahead.
So I'll give you a call there at the shop probably next week sometime, and we'll talk some more about it and get down to brass tacks.
All right, brother. Well, good luck with whatever you do, okay?
All right, Aaron. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yep, bye.
Shout out Aiden.
Where's Aiden?
He's in TikTok chat.
Oh, yeah, we got to get Aiden on here for sure. That poor guy. He does all the customer support and warranty. He's getting beat up at all times. Good guy. His dad owns a very large trucking company, so we couldn't ask for a better guy. He grew up with trucks and all that. And he was actually our neighbor in North Dakota. His dad owns Real Enterprises, what a good guy to have doing customer support. Um, What's my thoughts on the 1MM engine? Not much because I never owned one. It's one of the only ones I never owned, and I've never actually rebuilt one either. I've never had one in my shop.
I've
So
gotten like 3 calls for them ever.
yeah, they exist, but I've never messed with one ever in my life. So we're gonna get back to the callers here. There's 4 people on hold. Hang on one sec, guys. Paul Carmen asks, "Can you tell me what a long block plus consists of?" Your long block plus is going to come block, crank, rods, cylinder head, obviously the overhaul kit installed, front structure, and the gears and the camshaft. That way you're not doing any of the critical portions of it. And then the rest is on you.
I had a customer ask me the other day, if you wanted to do just like that, all of that, but preload like injectors in there, is that something we could do?
I mean, obviously we would send the engine with whatever you want. Right? But somebody's got to put the valve train in anyway. Right? We've tried doing all different ways, with valve trains, with injectors, this and that. And for long, you're just selling a whole engine. So kind of defeats the purpose of a long block plus. The purpose of the crankshaft and all that and everything, or camshaft and all the gears and all that is so the end user is not having to deal with any of those critical parts. So anyway, back to the callers here. And nobody's leaving their name. Hello. You're on the air.
What's going on, brother?
Not much. What can we do for you?
I got a BDAT 4 12.7.
I'm sorry.
You hear me?
Yeah, I said I'm sorry.
I did 12. So I didn't take up away power. Yeah, really only for she got 21 years with a 10. Other than that, $100 about 5. My question is, should I swap the out, like 355s, or could I put a smaller turbo on?
Oh man, I'm not sure what happened there, but I think he kicked himself. He kicked out of the Roadcaster. I don't know if. Let's see.
A guy on TikTok, let's see his name. Tyrell asked, single turbo versus dual turbo C15 and the conversion. Is it worth converting? Pros and cons. I know you prefer the dualies, but I don't know your specific reasoning as to why.
What?
Your specific reasoning as to why you prefer the dual turbo over the single, and a lot of guys seem to gun for the single.
Oh, because the twin turbo on the lower end has way more boost, way more spooling, way more power. To get the power that you can get from a compound system, you have to have a really big turbo. And the bigger you go on your single turbo, the harder it is to spool. Right? A small turbo is going to spool up really fast. And now our turbos, in case you didn't know, our turbos are special because they have little tiny cuts in the fins for that quick spooling, right? And they make a big difference. They do spool up hella fast, but not faster than a compound that's already spooled up at all times, right? So, if I'm hauling heavy, like, and pulling hills, the perfect engine to me is a 6 1/4 cat with the twins, the way it's built. Now, guys love those single turboed Acers, and I love building them, and it's fun. But says the call's not working. Oh God, we're having all kinds of technical difficulties. Son of a bitch.
My phone's about to die with the TikTok chat. Do you have a charger in here? Can I commandeer that?
This is at 96%. It's probably a gay iPhone you got there, though, huh?
I got the Type C. They changed it.
Yeah, we lost all of our callers for some reason. I don't know what's going on.
I'm expecting a Canadian named Kevin today. He doesn't believe I'm a real guy.
He's a real boy. Let's see. Let me connect to the Roadcaster again. Hang on, guys. We're having a technical difficulty. If I took my A-cert and singled it out with your turbo, would it perform better? Not by default. Could you make it perform better? Yes, you could. It would have to have some good tuning and things of those nature. A good manifold would go a long way as well. All right, let's take a caller. Hopefully we'll get up. Hello, you're on the air.
Uh-oh. Hello?
Oh, yeah. We're back. We're back. How are you doing, man? What can
Hello?
we do for you? Yes. Hello.
Oh, I'm out of trucking now, but I've been harassing you in the comments on Facebook about a pickup truck engine. I don't suppose you're ever going to do anything like that, are you? It's for a 2020 Silverado. It's the L87 6.2 that GM's having a recall fit about, and they're even producing bad remanufactured engines. I mean, people are on their fourth or fifth reman engine on warranty. So
I mean,
I'm one of those guys.
Yeah, I mean, what we service stuff like that in the form of we would do special upgrades to the parts for you to use them, but we wouldn't build that engine. That's too far outside our wheelhouse, you know. That's some
all right. I figured, but
that's some Dave's Auto shit there, brother.
I know. I don't know. Trust you more. I've watched you grow, and so that's why.
Yeah, I appreciate that, but no, it's just so far outside of our wheelhouse. You know what I mean?
All right. That's cool. I'll let you go, but God bless you and your family. All right.
All right. Thank you, brother, and likewise. Have a good night.
Yep.
Easy fix by a Ford, says Colorado Bullhauler.
What are we doing with the old shop? Well, we didn't own it, so we just handed it back over to the owner. Back to the callers here. Kind of got a little behind with our technical difficulties. You're on the air. What can we do for you, brother?
Oh,
yeah, it's you.
Hey, I lost your call earlier on that 12-7 Detroit. This is Scott calling with that coolant issue.
Oh, you're the call that dropped.
Losing coolant. Yeah, and I kept trying to call and it was just all fuzzy because of your damn iPhone.
Well, what can we do for you?
I was just calling to see what you were saying because like I said, the call dropped.
Oh, I didn't say anything. We're telling. Okay. Now I remember which engine. I was telling you to change the compressor,
the air compressor.
Yeah, change the compressor and call us next week. Because now I'm curious as hell. And if you eliminate the compressor, maybe we can kind of tell the story again and get some help from the comment sections, and maybe somebody can help you figure it out. But right now you have a call to Right now you have a call to action. That compressor.
Right. Alrighty, I'll let them know and I'll get her done.
All right, brother. Have a good night, man.
Thank you. You too.
Yep. Bye. What's better, a Detroit 60 Series or an N14? Oh, man. You have to define better. But by better, let's define better like this. Which one would I rather drive? An N14 anytime, anywhere. Gonna out Jake and out pull that 60 Series Detroit. Had a 12.7 turned up to 900,000 horsepower. Never had a problem. Sure you did. Anyway, N14, 100%, every day, all day. But I do love the Detroit 60 series, don't get me wrong. And I do think the 14 liter you can really, really put some power to. We build a 600 horsepower 14 liter that has been very popular over the years. Anyhow, back to the callers. Man, not a single name. I must have set it up wrong. You're on the air. What can we do for you?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Good.
I have a 2002 6NZ. I don't know if this problem's related or if it could possibly be related, but I'm hoping you might be able to shed some light on it. I had an air compressor loosen on me, and it dumped about 5 gallons of oil out. I saw the gauge flutter, and I shut the truck down and found that out. We replaced the air compressor, and everything seemed fine. I pull a 13 axle. The truck does have 55 injectors, a PDI manifold, and a PDI turbo, and some PDI tuning. That stuff is all probably 4 or 5 years old, though. Whenever I go up Mount Eagle in Tennessee, the truck does make about 42 pounds of boost. The last trip after this happened, I only would make about 36 pounds of boost. It kind of got hot on me, and at the end of the day, I realized it used about a gallon of coolant. So I stopped. We switched trucks, and I brought the truck home, and on the way home, it used about another gallon of coolant. So I put the truck up until I can have it looked at. But if it started to use coolant and it's lost about 5 pounds of boost, could that any way be related to what happened with the compressor or no?
Most likely not. Your compressor episode, if you got it shut down fairly quickly, is less than likely to have caused a problem, because your oil, you have to remember your oil, is lubricating everything. And even though you lost that many gallons, you were probably still lubricating everything. Now, your coolant problems probably unrelated, but that, just the you probably got lucky that you made it 5 years with that little list that you gave me there without having coolant problems a long time ago. You probably have cylinder head problem or something like that that's totally unrelated to that oil loss issue. I would put the oil loss issue, in my opinion, on the back burner as being possible at all. That way you're not trying to fix things that aren't even a problem and go after that coolant loss issue. It's either going to be the cylinder head or drop liner problem.
I can't figure out where it is. I mean, I haven't seen coolant coming out the exhaust or anything, and it's not mixing in the oil, so
yeah,
it's probably a head gasket or a liner.
Yeah, or the cylinder head itself. They say, my guess would be, if you have a PDI tune, the cylinder head is cracked out.
Okay.
Pop it up and you'll find out.
Well, yes, sir. Thank you so much for your time.
Yes, sir. Bye.
Bye.
He said 6NZ, yeah?
I can't remember what he said. Oil cools as well as lubricates. Yes, I'm aware. But the coolant cools the oil. So it's a way bigger deal to lose your coolant than lose your oil. Depends. Just having all kinds of problems. It's you're Jonah. I've seen similar things happen to trucks a lot of times. It usually doesn't cause a catastrophic problem. In fact, I can tell you guys of a time on the haul road, I was trucking with one of my employees, and he was right behind me, and we were coming down a hill, and he started to panic. He comes on the radio, and he's like, my jakes are barely working. They got really weak. Oh, no, they stopped. My jakes aren't working. And I started screaming at him, pull over and try to get stopped and pull over. You've lost all your oil. I knew that he'd lost oil pressure for some reason. He got pulled over, and I got pulled over, and I ran back up the hill. And sure enough, the compressor had fallen out, and he was 6 gallons low. And yeah, that truck ran for another 7 years before a different driver turned it upside down. Decided that the wheels didn't need to point at the ground.
Brian McMahon said, "What about a DD15?" Talking about the guy from the 60 series earlier. Blow it up. They suck.
What about a DD15? So here's the honest assessment of a DD15, guys. The DD15s have proven time and again that they're one of the most reliable engines on the market. That is a fact. They consistently go over 1 million miles. Guys, in our industry, that is the metric for what makes a good engine. No one can argue that. Your PACCARs, your DD15s, hate them both. Most people do, but no one can deny the fact that they go 1 million miles. That's the metric of a good engine. So, but the problem with owning one is when you start to, when they're wore out and you start to have issues with them, it's all downhill from there. So, up to 1 million miles, one of the best engines on the market. After 1 million miles, wouldn't want to be you. So, for that reason, I wouldn't want to own one.
Labor's intense. Parts are expensive.
Yeah, for both those platforms. If I had to pick, I'd rather do a PACCAR. PACCARs are pretty straightforward, to be honest with you. But
just that, like, they have like a lot of packaging shit that's like annoying. But once you get through it, they're not so bad. Like,
it would take you 2 days just to be able to get to the damn thing, getting stuff out of the way. Last caller that's waiting on hold, and you're on the air. What can we do for you?
Hey, buddy, I got an X15 with a PDI manifold and exhaust manifold and a PDI tuner. And I just heard you say, like, that stuff is not good for the motor. I'm just wondering why.
Well, don't get me wrong here, okay? I'm not going to tell you their turbos and manifolds are going to hurt your engine. That's not what I'm implying at all, okay? Here's what I will tell you. I have a problem with their parts line in general because they're shitty people when it comes to standing behind their stuff, right? But they make good manifolds, they make good turbos. I know the companies that make those things for them, and awesome companies, right? It's not like they're making them in the back. They make good hard parts. The problem is if you have any problems, they throw you under a bus. So that's my big problem with them. But if we isolate to the tuner, they called me and I talked to them quite a bit about their tuner. I talked to their engineer that does tune them and that builds all their tuners, and they sent me 10 of them. And I opened one up and hooked it up and went through all the steps and checked it out. And looked over the parameters, and I said, fuck no, no way in hell. Because the problem with it is the guys will get some mileage, but it's gonna, you're gonna pay the price for putting that on your engine. And so I refused to sell them. And in PDI being who they are, took me like 2 years. They told me, yeah, if you want to send them back, we'll refund you, no problem. It took me like 2 years for them to finally take them back, and they gave me half of what I paid for them.
Wow.
Yeah, absolute fucking sleazeballs, man.
I mean, I got like a half a mile per gallon. All I got to do is like shift really low, like 11 to 13 on the X15 efficiency, right?
Yep.
But if I'm shifting up high, like 14, 1500, like it just, I guess, eats more diesel.
Well, I mean, technically that's going to be true for any engine. The higher the RPM, the more fuel it takes for it to work, right? Mm-hmm. But it's relative to what you're hauling and what you're hauling it on. In other words, are you pulling hills, this and that, right? Your Cummins is designed to run higher RPM. Its torque curve is way higher. The mapping's all meant to be higher, and it should be more efficient than, say, a Cat. It should be quite a bit more efficient at 1600 or 1700 RPMs than a Caterpillar would be. Caterpillar doesn't even like to go above 1500. And if you keep it 1500 and below its entire life, it will thank you, both in your pocketbook and the longevity of the engine, versus that Cummins. she can see 1800 or even higher, and it's not going to really take away from the longevity or from the economy necessarily. Depends on what you're doing, right?
Right.
But anytime that depending on the job you're doing, and yeah, anytime you're adding horsepower, you are potentially gaining fuel economy. But that is only true in certain applications, and let me explain how. If you're running a 700 horsepower truck pulling containers out of the port in Atlanta, Georgia, you are going to get incredibly bad. If you running a 4.25 or 435 engine pulling containers out of the port, you're going to get incredibly good fuel mileage. Now, if you go pull a mountain in Alaska and you're loaded heavy, that 435 is going to use 100 gallons of fuel to go 1 mile, where that 700 horsepower engine is going to get fucking awesome fuel economy. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
So it really matters what job you're doing with it. So anybody that says, oh, you increase the horsepower, you increase the fuel economy, that's not a blanketly true term, but it certainly can be true.
Transmission torque and differential gearing is also important to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. But
yeah, I got 355s and an 18 speed.
Okay.
There you go. Get her done.
I will say PDI.
Do you think it would be better if I bring it down to like a 308 or a 325 for the dips?
Not if it's working for you, man. That kind of stuff's expensive. If it's working for you, go make money.
True.
PDI tunes, we get calls kind of often, 200,000 miles or so. Guys are like, oh, I have a PDI tune. It was really rowdy, and they're needing like a rebuild kit. And it happens.
Oh, wow.
A lot. So I wouldn't advise it. Not that I've ever used one, but there's so many people who call in with such low mileage with the tunes.
And you have to take what we're saying with a grain of salt, right? PDI is probably our most near peer competitor.
Right.
So you got anything we say is going to be incredibly biased, but I will take that part out of it. I've had a lot of experiences with PDI, and you don't have to go far in this industry and just ask around, and people view them as poison because they're not very good about standing behind their stuff. They don't take care of people at all. That's my big problem with them. But take that part off the table. They have some badass products. I just don't think the tuner is one of them.
Right.
And back when they used to sell ECMs with tunes on them, they were single-handedly responsible for destroying more engines in our industry than everything else combined. Before the EPA, slapped them in the dick and fined the shit out of them. They destroyed every engine they put their little hands on. So, and they didn't get enough grief for that. I remember that. I was trucking during that time, and I watched everyone I know just about use PDI's tunes on their ECMs and watch their engines blow up. It was absolutely insane.
Wow.
And they, they don't deny that, and they're like, well, we have this new tuner that fixes all those problems, and that tuner is not nearly as aggressive, and it's way more successful than what they were doing, but yeah, don't expect to get a lot of life out of it. All right, brother.
Alrighty, thank you very much for your help.
Yep, have a good night, man.
Yourself a good one. Good night, bud.
I'll tell you what, though, their tuner is fucking brilliant because you can just throw it on the truck. Boom, you got horsepower. And it's got a heads-up display. Really awesome. Really awesome. I wanted to use those, even though I don't care for them that much. I thought, man, this is a really cool product. It's got, you can read all your codes. There's a lot of pros to it. It's just the mapping on it. Come on, man.
Sounds like steroids.
Well, I mean, you're putting... you got a 550, you put that thing on there. You do the programming, you end up at like, what is it? almost 700 horsepower. Nah, come on. You can't expect that
it
to
could be without a price.
Yeah, you're gonna pay for it.
For what they do, though, that is badass.
They
Gives
have a
them
great
power.
advertising and marketing team. Yeah, they do. More than ProLube? No. Oh man. Since we've had these different ProLube episodes, Glenn, that we've talked about, I had another guy call me and tell me he put ProLube in it and it ruined his engine. So what is it? What do we have? 4 people now? Maybe 5? I can't even remember. And that guy told me, he's like, yeah, I did. You used the ProLube because I watched your video. I'm like, man, I didn't tell people to use ProLube. Good God. Don't blame me if you put ProLube in your truck and it eats all your bearings up. You're on the air, brother. What can we do for you?
Hey, Aaron, how you doing?
Good, man.
I got a question. So I got a B model, 346B, 7FB. It's in a dump truck. And I had a slow leak from the radiator probably about 3 weeks ago. Just very minor, nothing crazy. And the temperature gauge, it always sat at 180 and it started moving up to like 190, right? Changed the radiator out, put it back in. Now for the very first time after I did an in-frame, which was probably about maybe, let's say about 65,000 miles, now I'm starting to see the temperature gauge. It will like go to like probably 200, 205. It won't reach 210, but like 200, 205. Is that normal? Like if I'm climbing a hill, it would gradually go up and then come back down.
Are you turning
between 180 200?
Are you turning the fan on, or are you letting it come on its own?
It comes on for like maybe 5 seconds, 10 seconds, real quick, and then shuts off. I'm not turning it on at all.
Okay, then you don't have a problem.
So that's normal because this is the first time I've ever seen the gauge move from 180.
No, it's working.
You know,
that's
normally
that's working great, man. The fan didn't even come on until 218.
Oh, okay, all right. Because I was wondering maybe I had the wrong thermostat in there.
Nah, your gauge is probably reading a little wrong. That'd be my guess. But yeah, so here's the rule of thumb, man. If the engine fan comes on and it cools down and you didn't have to adjust the way that you were driving, you didn't have to do anything special, and it did it all by itself, keep trucking. She's good to go.
Okay, all right. Okay, all right. Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Yep. Have a good night, man.
Hey, one more thing. Did you guys get any of those all back in stock? I know you guys were out of it.
Yep. That was a rough deal there with the shit going on in Iran. But yeah, we're stocked up again. Yes, sir.
Okay.
And we have a better.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
All right, man. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yep. Bye.
I was hoping he was going to ask about turning it up.
You use ProLube in your toilet, now your toilet won't flush. You know, ProLube in your toilet is probably a lot smarter option than putting it in your engine. Fan short cycling is probably his AC. I 100% agree, Glenn. And I was actually going to say that too. I'm not trying to take credit for your comment, but literally that's what was going through my head as, oh, it's probably his AC. But it just wasn't relevant to his his question is do I need to worry? No. It's not even getting hot enough for the fan to come on. And you're probably 100% right. It was just coming on for the AC. Your fan's never going to short cycle like that to cool down the coolant, because the coolant takes longer than that for it to even register that it needs to cool down. Jason Smith, you're on the air.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you for taking my call. I am looking at purchasing a truck from a shop, and it's more of a salvage shop. They put a BXS Caterpillar engine. I've had those before. I've had good luck with them. However, would you guys happen to, at your shop, swap out that BXS for like a 6MZ or a 5DK or something?
Yeah, of course. It's like Burger King here, man. You can have it your way.
Yes, sir.
I mean, obviously the answer is going to be yes. I don't know. I don't personally know why you'd want to do that. I wouldn't do that probably, but who the hell am I to tell you what to do? Come on with it.
Yeah. Yes, sir. That truck originally had a Cummins in it, and apparently the Cummins failed, like a X15, and it failed, and they put this MXS, I believe, or BXS. It's one of the two. I haven't bought the truck yet, but I'm just trying to do my homework before I get in trouble. So I just thought I'd ask you guys. So would you then, being that you like the BXS or MXS, would you swap that out instead? I mean, do you have those already built at your shop? Just like a
Is the engine no good?
it's leaking here, leaking there. I was gonna take it to a Caterpillar dealer and have them hook up to it just to see if there is anything wrong with it, how many miles, just to get it checked out before I decide to buy it.
Sure. I mean, what would I do? Take care of any leaks, and then go make money with it. That's what I would do.
Okay, fair enough.
Of course, man. That should always be.
Thank you for.
Yeah. All right. Have a good night.
You too. All right. Goodbye.
Hey, Aaron, I got a 6NZ. I use Pro Lube and I have a PDI tune. What do you suggest I do to it?
Drive it off a cliff. No, but seriously, guys, unless you have multiple trucks and shit tons of money and you can just fuck around, the goal should always be to make money. What's the shortest route to making money? And we get customers all the time, kind of like this guy that was just calling in. I'm not knocking on him. He's just calling and feeling things out and this and that. But I mean, we haven't even made $1 with the truck, and we're already talking about putting a different engine in it. Now, I sell that kind of stuff, right? I should be all about encouraging you to do shit like that. It's just not in me, man. Trucking is such a brutal business to be in. It's hard to make money in the first place. In my mind, you take that piece of equipment and you make some freaking money with it, and then sure, eventually you're going to have to do something with it anyhow. If you wanted to line up putting a 6NZ or something in it, sure, line all that up. But in the meantime, let's make some money with what we have for sure. Glade's over there like, no. Have them call me. I'll get them hooked up. Anyway, guys, we got, you want to scan the comments, see is there anything interesting going on there? Because
I just gave the number out in there. Driving around is probably about to call us. You didn't ask for it, but
oh, okay, yeah, we're out of callers.
The usual question of swapping manufacturers, like the wiring harness is like $3,000 from Custom Trucks. The labor is probably like 17.
No, it's not even close. Sorry, don't mean to contradict you. Labor on something like that usually runs somewhere, depending on what shop you're at, somewhere between 5,000 and 10,000. I've never heard of anybody paying 17. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm not saying it's not possible. There are some really shitty shops, but your harnesses is actually the most expensive part. $3,000 for harnesses is a lie. And if you call Custom Truck and say, how much for a harness for this conversion, they'll say, oh, $3,000. But you know how much it is for everything you need to do the conversion? About 15. And that's what you need to tell people.
Probably why it's ending up at 17.
That's why it's ending up at 17.
Okay.
So for like a Cummins swap, 11 to 12, and just stuff you need to make it work. And then guys are going to pay 5 or 6 to do the swap. Right? So yeah, you're starting to be at that 15, 16, 17. That's 17. Yeah. So yeah, your number's right, actually. You're just mixing up where the money's coming from.
Then there's the issue of like motor mounts. You have to do everything, every sensor, everything. And a lot of that's OEM specific. So you end up with all that labor, all that wiring, and all.
Well,
the time.
custom truck will send you 95% of it, but it is technically all OEM. You're right. But
You'd like the swap though, like going motor to motor, with having to get everything that's meticulous, all the retrofitting. If you have an automatic transmission, really annoying. If it's manual, still annoying because all the mounts
and you have to have a good tuner that can not only tune the ECM, but they can tune the truck. A lot of people don't realize the truck tune
autos
has
are
to change
programmed
as well.
to the truck.
I'm not talking even about transmissions. The engine has to be programmed to the truck. Last repower you did was 15 for everything. That's a good deal. That's a really good deal. They're going to fluctuate all over the place, though. You know, like I don't know, Glenn, if you've ever done a PACCAR to a CAD or something, man, those are expensive. Those can be really expensive. But anyway, we got a couple callers. Probably better jump back to the callers. Can you explain Lorenzo's oil? I don't know anything about Lorenzo's oil. Lorenzo was helping us with our oil for just a little bit. Lorenzo is not a blender. They don't make any oil. They have a blender that makes oil for them, just like we do. But we ultimately got our own blender to make us our own oil. They helped us formulate a good oil that we brought to market, and then our business with them did not work out. They started making all kinds of demands of us, so we just went and got our own blender to do what we were already doing. So
Aiden asks, how does an actuator actually fail? I like this question, although I don't know too much about it. I know air ones can often fail from buildup over time, just being pressurized inside of them. But
everything on your engine is going to be oil actuated.
a lot of Cummins, like ISXs, they're air actuated.
What are?
Like the turbos themselves, the actuators on them.
Oh yeah, the turbo.
That's what he's talking about.
You
Like
said VVA.
what? I don't believe I did.
Oh, I thought you did.
But no, he like how do actuators on turbos fail? Is what Aiden's asking.
How do the actuators on the turbo fail? There's the actual actuator itself is electronic engine with moving parts.
I mean, they all fail. Yeah, it depends on what. There's some that are mechanical, some that are air based, some that are electrical, and it could be a multitude of reasons.
They have a gear, like a kind of like a worm drive gear inside, and they wear out. That's why the new actuator that we're getting ready to come out with has twice the size of bearings in it, because that's part of the problem. But one of the main reasons that they fail is actually not the actuator itself. It is the VGT portion of it. That the mechanical part that slides in and out, that is usually what fails. It's usually not the actuator. We sell a lot more of the turbos without the actuator than we do the complete thing. Actuators on turbos fail electrically most of the time. Actually, Glenn's right. The electrical portion of it is what fails. You can still move them back and forth manually, but electronically they won't do their job anymore. Is there any reason you made your own oil instead of promoting AMSOIL? Is it's a really good oil? What kind of question is that? Is there any reason I went and made my own oil instead of promoting somebody else's? Did you think that question through? Is there any reason I went and made my own kits instead of promoting PDIs? Same question. Is there any reason that we have our own turbo instead of promoting full tilts? Make that question make sense. Thank you. Thank you. All right, back to the callers. You're on the air. What can we do for you?
Yes, had a couple questions for you. One is about the oil bypass system that y'all have. And I know how originally you went down to 1 micron, which is what a lot of them do, but then you went to 3 micron now. Is that right?
Yeah. We you know, are you gonna have a problem with the 1 micron? Probably not. But does the possibility exist? Yes, it does. And if you look at the industry standard, pretty much everybody's, right around a 3 micron, and it makes sense. And there's less restriction, better flow for the oil. And the odds of stripping out the additive package go down quite a bit, right? So, yeah, and we were able to improve the price and get a better unit, and get away from, you know, really trying to force people into this corner where they have to use our oil with a nano package in it.
Okay. Didn't need to, or sorry, do you still get the longevity out of the oil though? Like before, where you were saying, I think it was like 40,000 miles or so.
Oh yeah, nothing. That's all the same. We still send you an oil sample kit with every filter you buy. We still want you to check it, and as long as it shows up good, fucking run it.
Okay, good deal. I did call in probably about a month ago now, and I asked the question of if I bought y'all's oil bypass system now, and you have a deal where if you do the bypass system of y'all's, you get to add an extra year of warranty to rebuild. If I bought the bypass now and then got a kit later, would the warranty still apply, that deal, or no?
I don't know why it wouldn't.
Yeah.
It's we're just trying to prove to people that the bypass is going to make everything last that much longer.
Okay, cool. So I would get an extra year then if I bought a kit, let's say 6-9 months later or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Y'all would honor that?
Yeah, I don't know why not.
It'll be there. So just say, hey, pull it up, and we'd be able to see it.
Yeah,
there.
we any customer that calls that's already an existing customer, we can tell you everything you've ever done with us, including every conversation. Every interaction you've ever made with us is recorded and noted, and so we can do better customer service, of course.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good deal. I did want to ask you too. I didn't remember what the oil temp difference was with that little thing you have. I can't remember what it's called.
It's a oil thermostat bypass.
Okay. Yeah. And that lowers it. What is it, like 10 to 20 degrees or so? Is it correct?
Yeah, it's the average that we see, somewhere around in there.
10
Yep.
to 15 is mainly when I get calls.
Yeah,
for
10 to
after.
15 is what most people report back to us. You can see up to 20.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because my headset or ISX is running about 230 most of the time.
Yeah, it
So I figured that'd help a little bit.
it makes them run more like a cat, you know?
Gotcha. A little cooler.
Yep. They work good.
Okay. Well, good deal. Hey, I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Yep. Have a good night, man, and good luck.
You too.
Bye.
I had a customer in Alaska call about the oil cooler bypass, and he got one, and he was asking about, like, or I guess he wasn't asking about it, but I was curious as to, like, negative 40 temps. Could the bypass be impeding to the point of, like, wet stacking?
No, because the only time that your bypass might where somebody could say maybe it'd be an issue is from startup to total warmth. Because the engines are designed to not put any oil through the oil cooler at all until the engine's up to operating temperature. But if you're following manufacturer's protocol anyway, which is to start it as soon as you have air, put it under light load till it's warm, it's non-issue anyway. You're way better off with an oil bypass in, starting them, operating them under light load immediately to get them warm, than having no oil bypass, starting it and let it warm up for 30 minutes while you sit there in your house watching it warm up so your windows defrost or whatever it might be.
Garrett Shaw asked, do we have stiffener plate hardware yet?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. I spent the last 2 weeks, every spare moment I got, building 100 hardware kits. Holy crap.
Garrett's been very patient. Called a
Just
couple times.
just for the studs, it cost us $6,000 just for the studs. That was mind-boggling. We're about 12,000 into those hardware kits, and just the studs were 6,000 of that.
We never found a way
Absolutely
to get cheaper.
mind-boggling. Those were cheap. That's the crazy part. Those were cheap compared to everything else that we compared them to. So
Yeah, out there make some. Make screws, makes bolts.
If people didn't know, that stiffener plate was on hold for a couple of months because we just couldn't get the hardware to install them. We have 100. Well, we had a bunch of them are gone now, but we had 100 made, and then we ran into a logistical problem on getting hardware kits, but we're all good there. Okay, we got another caller. Probably better slow down on the callers. We got a couple here, but we are coming up towards the end of the show, guys. You're on the air. What can we do for you?
Good evening, Aaron. I was curious, your opinion on installing a external oil cooler after your oil bypass system. Is it worthwhile or not?
Oh, you mean like an external oil cooler? Man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a fail point, right? You're adding another fail point, and the benefit of an external oil cooler on a sump as big as a 10-gallon sump is probably going to be very disappointing, to be honest with you. You would have to have something that can move a lot of oil, something like a hydraulic oil cooler. You know, you're not going to buy like a RV oil bypass cooler and get any results out of it. They just don't move enough oil. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. That's what I was looking at, was a hydraulic oil cooler. It's got a fan and everything on it.
Yeah, but you're probably going too far the other way, man. A hydraulic oil cooler will cool that shit down like nobody's business. I mean, your oil shouldn't be getting that hot to need all that. You know, I can understand adding a bypass to it and getting the oil a little cooler, but you don't want to get your oil too cold. That's for damn sure.
Yes. I agree. I was just curious your opinion.
Yep. No, I think you're overthinking it. I wouldn't go through all that trouble. I did, I've done something like that on one of my boats where I have an external oil cooler. But I just did it because I like tinkering with shit and trying stuff out. It certainly didn't need it.
Okay. All right. I'll pass on that theory.
All right, brother. Have a good night, man.
You too. Thank you.
Yep. Bye. Couple questions here. I feel dumb for asking. I just out of framed an X15. Customer didn't have me replace the oil cooler. He made it 1,200 miles and now it has oil and it's coolant. Think the cooler could be the issue. Well, if you're not dumb for asking, no question's dumb unless you already know the answer when you ask it, in my opinion. But it's really unlikely, man. It's really unlikely the oil cooler is magically the problem. So I'm just going to tell you, let's say this is my shop and this is happening to me, because I guarantee it has happened to me before. This is kind of the rule of thumb that I always go with, is if it's inside of 10,000 miles, it's most likely an installation error that we did. And I'm talking about for my shop, right? I'm not pointing fingers here. That's kind of my rule of thumb. If my customer has a problem inside of 10,000 miles and it's something like you're talking about, okay, now we're putting oil in my coolant or whatever it might be, most likely an installation error on my end. Now, usually when you're outside of that and you're somewhere in the 30th, inside of 30, between 10,000, 30,000 miles, it's mostly likely some kind of a parts failure. outside of that 30,000 mile range, and I'm just going with averages of what I've seen over the last 16 years, it's almost always an external event. The driver did it somehow. If they make it 30,000 miles, you're done. That's why all these 5-year warranties are such nonsense, right? About 30,000 miles, if it makes it that far, you're done. There's no installation errors. There's no parts failing. She's going to go. She's going to go as long as they should. But 1,200 miles, it's an installation error, man. You messed up something when you put the head on or something like that. And of course, could be wrong. But if it was me, that would be my guess. We do have one more caller here. What's the name of the oil you sell, and can I use it in my medium duty engines? Absolutely. If it's a diesel engine, you can use it in any diesel engine, and it's called Hacknation. That's the name of the oil. And how many miles can it be ran for, or should it be ran for? If you're using our oil bypass system or any oil bypass system, you can run it indefinitely. In theory, because it's a POA oil, it doesn't break down. As long as you're cleaning it all the time with a bypass system of some kind, in theory, you could take our oil to 1 million miles without changing it. And I 100% mean that. Look you in the face and 100% tell you that. 1 million miles absolutely can be a thing with our oil. So,
what's the metric for additives on the oil? Like
so here's the thing. If we're talking a big rig, we want you to change the truck filter every 20,000 miles. You're going to have to add a gallon back then. That's refreshing the additive package. At 20 or 40,000 miles, we want you to change the bypass filter. There's another 2 gallons right there. So every 40,000, we're going to be adding 3 gallons of oil. We're going to keep the additive package fresh. Okay. Every time you change the bypass, we are going to send you an oil analysis kit for you to see if the oil is still good to go.
There was a metric a customer asked me about for like how many additives does an oil? All oils have it. I didn't know it off the top of my head.
There's several additives that all oil have.
No, like the metric of how many additives per oil has.
I don't know.
He asked me the specific.
Like
number.
ours has extra additives that
I just didn't know
most
the
oils
number
don't
on the
have.
scale.
How hot is too hot for gear oil?
Yes, you can use it on a Volvo. You can use it on anything with oil.
How hot is too hot for synthetic gear oil to constantly run and eat in manual?
Oh,
it can get pretty hot. It can get pretty hot. I can't remember what the top end is, but it can get pretty damn hot. You should know the answer to that, transmission guy. You sell them all day long. Why don't you figure that out? And I'll take another caller here. Last caller, and then we're going to shut down the phone lines, guys. We're down the last 10 minutes here. Caller, you're on the air. What can we do for you?
Hey, Hack, how's it going?
Good, man. Hit me with it.
I've got a 4-cylinder Perkins, NA Perkins. I don't know if you guys know anything about them, but
oh yeah, I've owned several.
Perfect. So it sputters at I don't know what I think is it's in a wood chipper, 10-inch wood chipper. It sputters at say 2,000-ish RPM, which is roughly where it should run. I put new injectors in it, brand new. I've done a head job and a valve job and everything. It's still doing it. I ran it with the exhaust manifold off of it, and it's firing or it's smoking out of 1 and 2, sputtering and smoking out of 1 and 2. At this point, do you think it could be injector pump or rings?
Well, I mean, the problems you're naming sound like injectors proper, like injector problem. How do we know we don't have bad injectors?
Well, that's the thing. I haven't pop tested them. I don't have a pop tester.
Right, but
I did put
those Perkins parts are like $3. I mean, have you looked at how much injectors are? Maybe it's worth, and far be it for me to be the guy to tell you to throw parts of something, right? But because I'm always,
I hate, yeah.
But in this case, in how old is it? Perkins engine's probably pretty old, huh?
Well, the chipper's an 07.
Oh wow, newer,
roughly. So yeah.
Wow. Okay. It would even still. I mean, I would just try to find out how much the injectors are. They might be incredibly affordable. Yeah, and maybe.
Yeah, they're $200 Canadian here.
Well, that ain't
so
bad.
I just ordered them, and the problem never changed. It never differed at all.
Oh, you did change them.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Well, it's kind of narrowing it down what it can be, right? You're kind of down to the injection pump, aren't you?
I believe so. Now I'm just a diesel mechanic apprentice here myself. But I asked a clever old school mechanic about it, and he said pull the exhaust manifold off. If smoking at all 4 cylinders and sputtering and missing on all 4, then you've got an injector pump problem. If not, then it's valves or ring.
Yeah, and it certainly could be the rings and the valves as well, I guess. But, I mean, there's probably a lot of truth to what he's saying there. I mean, that's a pretty easy way to check it out, right?
Yeah.
It's too bad you didn't bore scope down there when you had the injectors out, because you would have been able to know it if you had a broken ring. And if you had a good bore scope, you could have figured out if you had a sunk valve as well.
Yeah.
And you may end up having to, you may end up having to do that either way. But anyway.
Yeah. Okay. So you're thinking it could be rings, could be injector pump still, like even with just the 2 cylinders, 1 and 3.
Brother, I cannot tell you. I cannot tell you how many times we've chased injector problems that ended up being a broken ring.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Or a sunk valve. Yep. Either or.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Thank you.
All right, brother. Hopefully not that. Later.
Yeah. Yeah. Have a good one.
You too, babe.
LJ Lawtonville. Glad you remember me. Yeah, you're Larry, man. Larry Lawrence. Larry Lawtonville. I remember you, man. Don't worry. And as for the transmission, I didn't want to give any fake info because I wasn't exactly sure. I know the normal operating temps are around 180. The range is usually between like 160 to 200. I know like super failure, 300 degrees Fahrenheit. And then like manufacturer specs is like 250.
Yeah.
That's when
I know they can go above 235, because 235 is when you start to start watching it, right? So I know they can get pretty hot, but yeah. And answer that guy's question, you can get oil bypass. Our oil bypasses, you could technically use them on a medium duty truck, but there's just way better options out there for medium duty trucks. And oil analysis kits, man, you can just get those right off of Under My Hood is a good one. And there's a million of them out there. Like this Lawtonville guy says you can use Amsoils. Well, yeah, you can use all kinds of people's. You can get one from Cat. There's a plethora, but the easiest one is just to go Under My Hood on Amazon, order it right to your house. It's really well. And like Grizzly says, yeah, you can use an oil bypass on a fucking lawnmower. He's literally on anything. So anyway, okay. Well, we do have one more caller. You want to take him? I said no more callers, but we'll go ahead and maybe he'll say something mean to you and it'll be worth it. Hello, you're on there.
Hey, how's it going, man? Who am I speaking with? Aaron?
Yeah.
Okay. Aaron, I got a question. Okay, I spoke to Glade earlier. I was telling him I was having a situation with my truck. Got to a shop last night,
and the def was literally gushing out of the bottom of the sleeper. Okay, I'm a kind of a bigger dude, so I didn't want to crawl under there and get soaked by the shit, you know. So I just waited for the shop to check it out. They check it out. They had to drop, I guess, like some of the def components because the line that they had to get to was at the top. Like I said, it was at the bottom of the sleeper. Okay, now when he pulled the line out, a good like 9 or 10 inches of it was like toasted. It was like fried. Now this line, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. I'm sure you do, but it kind of looks like a CB antenna because it's got coils wrapped around it. Then it's got it's got like a heat shrink tube around it or something. You know, because there's wires that run along. Yes. Okay. And so I asked him because I always like to ask, like, why did this happen? And he said, dude, I've never even seen this, so I can't tell you why it happened. So I was wondering if you guys had any idea as to what would cause something like that.
Never seen anything like that before.
You haven't either?
I hate to repeat what you already got told, but I wouldn't even know where to start, man.
I said, well, let me call the Hack Bennett boys. I know these fuckers will know.
Hey, Chris. Yeah. When you called, that's what I told you.
What's up? What's up, guys? You know?
I was really perplexed.
Yeah, I know. I called you and you didn't answer. And I got on TikTok and I see that. I go, oh, he's on the show. Okay. Yeah. But, okay, yeah. Okay, so let me ask you guys another question. Would something like this cause a loss of power? Do we know?
I don't know, but probably yes. It would be a D rate
from that. Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's like when I'm going up a hill. Sometimes I go up a hill fine, and there's other times where I'll go up a hill and I have to drop it down to like the 4th gear on the low side. You know, just to get up the hill at 50 mile an hour. You know,
brother. There could be so many reasons that's going on. What kind of engine do you have?
I got the Cummins ISX 2350.
Okay, well, one of the beautiful things about owning a Cummins, probably better than every engine out there, is the engines are prone to telling you what's going on, and then at your fingertips, you have all of the diagnostic ability through Cummins Insight to tell you exactly what to do.
Right. Okay. Okay, so yeah, this little shop that I'm at right now, it's a small independent shop. I wonder if they have that.
I don't know.
Cummins Insight.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You could have it on your phone. It's not proprietary in the way that only shops have it. You can have it. Oh, they're gonna have it.
Okay, so is it that okay. I know I was looking at a diagnostic reader from Cummins. Is it like called the something mini or something like that goes plugged into the port? And then you just pull the information off of your phone? Is that what you're talking about?
Do what now?
It's a diagnostic tool that Cummins sells. I forget the name of it, but I know part of the name is mini, like small.
I don't know. I've never heard of it.
You know, you plug...
I've
never heard of it. Okay.
I have like big computer and all that.
Yeah, you guys got the big shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I have no clue.
Yeah,
If it's from Cummins, then yeah, it's probably great.
I'm sorry?
I said if it's from Cummins, it's probably great.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Well, all right, man. Well, I was kind of just hoping you guys could tell me something different than this guy, but I guess if I find anything else out, maybe I'll let you guys know, huh?
All right, brother. Sounds good. Thank you.
Please do.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, man. Thanks a lot.
Yep.
Okay.
Bye.
All right. Talk to you guys later. All right. Bye-bye.
All right. 3406B running 24 PSI boost standard turbo gets powered with 500 degrees Celsius. What is that in Fahrenheit?
Conversions are my thing.
Yeah. Somebody in the comment section, do the conversion for us. What is 500 Celsius in Fahrenheit? Come on, buddies. Come on. Oh, you're saying that tool was designed for dealer pre-scan. It's not much help for the owner
932
operator.
degrees.
That Cummins tool, a gentleman in TikTok is saying, is not much help.
Yeah, Larry.
So 250. What? 500 degrees Celsius is not 250 or 932 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay. Well, 932 degrees is not hot. So my recommendation to you, my friend, is not worry about it. 932 is not hot for a turbo. So,
For a turbo.
Oh yeah. So get the trucking. Get the trucking. The problem with putting a bigger turbo on that engine, unless you're going to, put a round port head and a good manifold, upgraded manifold and all that, it's not going to like you trying to push a bunch more boost, and your pyro is probably going to get hotter, especially if you don't turn the fuel up a little bit to spool that turbo. You're most likely going to be exacerbating the problem, not fixing it. 24 psi is about where you're going to be on a stock B model with a stock turbo. It's just the way that it is. I mean, you might be able to get a little bit more out of it if you put a brand new turbo on. If you got there are better turbos out there that are still stock that would probably get closer to 28. But anyway, guys, we're probably at a good stopping point here. Wait, I want to answer that question. Hang on. Does the stainless shims fix the X15 Cummins? I've made a lot of videos about that, guys, but let's talk about it here really quick. The short answer is, in my opinion, of course, no, it does not. In my opinion, it is a recipe for disaster. There's a reason that Cummins does brass on all of that. The shim that comes on the liners is made out of brass. The shims that they sell you are made out of brass. If you're going to use stainless shims, you are screwing over either yourself or your customer for the next time he goes to rebuild it, because those stainless shims will cause it to fret on the lower bore much worse than if you were using brass. It ruins the block. So, and I've never seen where it magically makes them not drop. Go measure your brass shims on a dropped liner and tell me if it's because the brass flattened out. I already know the answer. The answer is no. The brass didn't flatten out. So if the brass isn't flattening out, then you're not curing a problem by putting stainless in, because the argument would be that stainless doesn't give like the brass does. And you'd be correct. It destroys the block. So all these guys that think they're the super mechanics because they use stainless shims, I think they're fucking assholes and doing their customers a grave disservice. It's just, I mean, we've been using brass forever. We double stack brass if we need to. We'll go 40,000s double stacking brass. And we don't have trucks coming back here ever for drop liners where we're having to fix our liner drop problem. Ever. But we also don't do really stupid shit to Cummins engines where they're way outside of their parameters. I think that's the way bigger correlation. Your B model pulls 35 psi. Oh, no doubt about it. It's certainly capable of it, Glenn. The 600 B models that we do, we always end up doing 5 or 6 a year. 42 pounds of boost, I can almost guarantee is what you're going to get. So 35 to me is 100% believable. I'm not trying to one up you. I'm just saying that our 600 build, it's always right there, 40, 42, somewhere in there. How much is your Hacknation in-frame kit for the C15 Acer? Now you have to call us, man. They're very all over the place. We have kits for 3,200 on up. So They can be as much as what, 556 or something.
If it's like a hacknation coded one,
Mm-hmm.
6 is if it's like a Cummins.
Yeah, just it depends on the kit. Depends, he's saying C15 Acer, but
Yeah.
and that Acer can be a 16-to-1. It really depends on what you're after. Do they make total steel piston rings for the 60 Series Detroit? The answer to that is no. Nobody makes total steel piston rings for any of the big cylinder engines except for moi. As far as we know, I'm the first to ever do it, and it cannot be done to the Series 60, or I would have done it. And that is because your gapless ring has to be the mid ring, and the mid ring on your 60 series is keystoned, and you can't do a keystoned ring. It sucks, but it's not an engine that can be done. Can't be done. So we don't do it. But we have them for all your Cummins and all of your cats except for the 5EK, the 6TS, and the 16-to-1. And it's for the exact same reason. Your 5EK, your 6TS, and your 16-to-1 Acer pistons all have a keystoned middle ring. So we do not have gapless rings for those.
That guy's question about the PACCAR you were going to get to. The turbo VGT, non-VGTing it, and then you said you wanted to get to it.
Oh, for a PACCAR?
Yeah,
I don't even
a PACCAR.
I don't even know of a non-VGT option. I don't doubt that they
You
exist.
could throw an S400 on it. The problem is getting a manifold that would mount up properly, and it'd be a pain in the ass.
And the other problem would be the programming. I don't have the answer to any of those.
It could be self-actuated and kind of work. I wouldn't. It's not worth
You would
touching.
still have codes. It'd still be throwing codes. Anyway, guys, Mr. Lawtonville, good night to you. Thank you. It is time to wrap it up. We're already 10 minutes past. Appreciate that, guys. Appreciate everybody on TikTok for joining us. Sorry about the sideways show. We had to have Glade's beautiful face in there. We'll have another guy on next week. We're going to try and get everybody that works here in the sales and support and warranty all on here, just so they can kind of meet and greet the people that they work with every day. So do appreciate everybody. Appreciate all the guys in the comment sections, especially our regulars like Glenn, and YouTube is awesome. Always appreciate you guys' help. You all have a good night. Love you a long time. I don't know if you guys watched any of our recent videos, but man, that dyno is working great. Absolutely love that thing. We broke in a couple engines on it, but we still have some wiring issues where we can't do print offs and show torque and horsepower and all that. So aggravating, but we hope to have it figured out tomorrow. I appreciate everybody being along for the ride with us on that. It's been a great time, but you guys have an awesome 4th. I know we always throw a rager every year at the shop. It's kind of become its own thing. You usually have a couple hundred people show up. We really get after it. So I hope you guys enjoy your 4th. It's my favorite holiday of the year. Love you guys long time. I will see you next week.
Later, guys.